Hey folks. So today I want to talk about a hobby of mine that I really hadn't featured a lot here on social media yet. And that is my passion for reptiles. So a little bit of background. I'm a third generation reptile enthusiast. It actually starts with my grandpa on my mother's side, on the Menhennet side. My grandpa, Robert Menhennet, he was from rural New York, in actually Hancock, New York to be exact. And he and his brother, which is my great uncle David Menhennet, used to go about capturing turtles and snakes and raising them. And they got quite the reputation for being the two crazy reptile brothers. Fast forward from the 1940s up until the late 1990s, early 2000s, and then you got young, up and coming Zach, who is obsessed with dinosaurs, mostly thanks to Jurassic Park, but all the other dinosaur media that was popular throughout the 90s. And by about 2003, I finally get my first reptile pet, which of course was an iguana. Those were all the rage back then in the reptile community. I might actually make another video about iguanas in particular. I think we've learned since then they're probably not the easiest starter reptile, but that's not the point. Years later, I ended up getting my now beloved Tegu Tex, which he's another awesome one. I would actually have to say Tegus, if someone wants a big lizard, they're probably your best bet. As far as the maintenance ratio to effort to how much you get out of them, I think they're fantastic. But then again, I've just had Tex, so, who knows. Matter of fact, let me drop this in real quick. I do say I'm a reptile enthusiast. I don't automatically love every single reptile because I judge animals just like I judge people, all individually on their individual merits and their diplomacy with me. Like I said in my collectivism video, which you'll probably go watch, or hopefully you've already seen it, I like reptiles, but just because you are a reptile does not automatically mean you're my friend, because that lizard that tries to bite me is probably going to get smacked upside the head. It is what it is. But here is something that I really want to talk about in the reptile world is if you ever go to these conventions, most of the time these conventions consist of 90% snakes and then a little tiny 10% window of maybe some lizards, some geckos, and a couple really exotic mammals. That's just kind of how it works. But it brought to my attention just how much snakes tend to dominate the reptile hobby. And again, I descended from a great snake enthusiast. So I want to clear up my thoughts on snakes. So first of all, I'm not scared of snakes. They don't scare me, okay? I would be frightened. I wouldn't want to be around one that could be venomous or poisonous or whatever. If a cobra comes running after me, well, of course I'm scared. Who wouldn't be scared? But in general, I don't just have this, oh, it's a snake. I'm not that. But I don't hate them, but I'm not enamored by them like a lot of other people in the reptile community are, okay? I love lizards. Turtles are pretty cool. I love crocodilians. One of these days, I'm gonna own a caiman. By the way, once I get enough free time, freed up money, and all the right resources to devote to a caiman properly and take good care of it, I'm gonna have a Cuvier's dwarf caiman or two maybe. But anyway, back to snakes. So I don't hate snakes. I'm not scared of snakes. But with that being said, to me as a reptile enthusiast that likes a lot of other kinds of reptiles and birds, by the way. Birds are reptiles. You can fight me in the comments. I'm not that crazy about snakes. Not out of fear, not out of hatred for them, but here's my beef with a snake. All you get is a head and a tail. Oh, wait, hold up. Let me stop before the comment warriors show up. Yes, technically the snake is head, and the full length of it is belly, and then the little tip of the tail is tail, but scratch all that. As far as I'm concerned, a snake is nothing but a head with a tail. That's boring. You don't have arms, you don't have wings, you don't have anything. It's a head with a tail. And most of the time they sit there and they stare at you like you're an idiot because you bought a pet that eats twice a year that does nothing. and now you're financially obligated to this creature, and you have all this time tied up in this creature, and he's going to look at you like, you bought a snake, and I'm that snake. So that's my thing about snakes. And yeah, okay, I got a lot of friends, family, loved ones that love snakes, and a lot of them that hate snakes, and the people that love snakes, go ahead and fight me in the comments. But that's my thing, okay? I'm sorry, they're just boring. And before you go to say, well, Zachary, you like lizards, you like tegus, and those things are boring, and you even considered buying a blue-tongued skink at one point. Okay, first of all, yes, skinks are boring, but they're adorable. They grow these fat little bellies, and their arms and legs can't even, like, they have to drag their little bellies in the sand, and that's adorable. And it's hard to find a cute reptile, okay? And second of all, yeah, Tex the tegu, he doesn't do a lot. I'll probably feature him in some content. But at least a lizard can walk up to you and sometimes lick you. And if you get a smart enough lizard, you can make them come to you if you pat the ground, if you train them when they're young enough. So, yeah. That's my thing on snakes. I've accepted the fact that, yeah, snakes will always be the most popular reptile in the reptile hobby, but I am so glad that when I went to the Longview Reptile Expo recently, it wasn't just 90% snakes like it is at most of these expos. It actually was more about 60% snakes, and then about 30% other assortment of reptiles, and then about 5 to 10% exotic mammals. So that's my take on the snakes. We'll holler at you soon.